Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode number 44. This being the last 6 episodes, of Kamen Rider Amazon. Yes, 19 to 24. Yes, I have officially finished up this entire series now. The 4th Kamen Rider series is finished completely. I'll get my final thoughts basically when I finish talking about these episodes. Now, in these episodes, we have a total number of basically like 5 monsters show up in these episodes. Yes, 5. And those monsters are, for these 5 episodes, we have, for these episodes we have Owl Beastman. His plot was simply to try to sink his basically his goal was by far one of the most baffling plans I have ever heard of. His plan: destroy the Tokyo subway system. Here's the thing: he kidnaps kids, blinds them, puts these stickers on their eyes that allows them to see, but only he can control them. And by the way, he does briefly blind twice in the episode. Amazon. Yes, he does. Mole, he does actually help out in the episode. He actually plays a big role in the episode. He plays a lot bigger role in the very next one. So, like, he has to kidnap. He has to do like several kidnappings to kidnap his kids. Amazon basically really points out that he would not fight kids. Yeah, he loves kids. As do I. I love kids too. But he's not going to fight them. Nope. He is basically not going to do anything to them at all. They just basically dance around. I was like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. Zero the Gray is like, yeah, but Amazon basically was spotted your 5th group. And of course, Basico, he gets kidnapped along with his classmates. Their teacher gets injured during the attack by the Owlman. The luck on Basico is not stupid. He sees that before he goes blind, before his sight is taken away, he does briefly see a black follower. He does, in fact, identify who's there pretty quickly by their voice. I appreciate the fact that cover Amazon. I'll get to more in a minute, basically how Mystico was written here. So, he knows like to get the little stickers. Now, first time we see him look pretty okay. And then you see him again when they put him on, like, man, these things look so cheap. They're just stickers they just basically put on their eyes, make you think they're seeing in the dark. Eventually, Kamen Amazon, he does basically battle the owl, and he basically beats him. Look how basically Mole does free the kids pretty easily. He fends the underground pretty easily because he's a Mole Man, obviously. And part of the subway is flooded. Though apparently, even though the things he's beating, like, oh, the subway fix tomorrow. No, it will not. It takes a long time to based on the amount of damage that I saw in that episode. My gosh, that would take at least 2 months to fix that damn subway system. Or, my guess, they probably do it in like a day or two. I highly doubt basically doing just a day. Yeah. Now, 20 is noteworthy for being the final appearance of the Mole Beastman. Well, the plot of this one is simply melt humans. Now, he does melt several humans, but apparently couldn't melt a baby. Now, there probably is a reason why. Now, behind the scenes, there was a reason why they couldn't do it. Because the baby is adorable. You can't kill a baby on screen. I'm sure probably the network airing this must have been really worried. They're going to kill a freaking baby. Like, adults, okay, you want to kill them in an episode? Fine. But don't kill the baby. So they explain the reason why they couldn't kill off, not just because of the baby. Apparently, the baby had a cold. Yes, by the way, the baby was a boy. Yep. Now I'm sure that kid probably is the actor who was that baby. Probably is in his 50s by now, presumably. So Mama basically just goes undercover, kind of trying to join him, sees the operation. And like, oh yeah, I'll basically put this mold on Amazon. And after he basically mentioned himself, yeah, I tricked him. Apparently they overheard him. And I'm like, Okay, I'm sure he got far away from them. He basically underground. I highly doubt he would be stupid enough to basically go underground and come back up right where basically he just went under. I'm not sure what was the problem here. Somehow the Mushroom Beast Man, that's the one for this episode, apparently caught up with them for some strange reason. And then he just basically plays with mold and thinks that mold they would basically like find a cure and able to stop him. Though sadly, the mold beastman dies. Now, there is an actual reason for this. Now, I've never read exactly what was the reason for, but I do have a theory. Watching on screen, especially the last few episodes, the Mole Man Beastman suit was falling apart. Yeah, like you see it on screen, the thing is literally falling apart. Like there are holes in the back of it, like more than it should be. Yeah, I mean the front of it looked pretty good, but the back was coming apart. So, and also, I think the actor probably playing the Mole Beastman probably was getting tired of playing him. This is just my personal theory. I don't know because I've never met anybody who basically worked in the series. So they said kill him off here in the last few episodes. No Mole Man. Yes, this is the first time since episode 4 that there is no beast. The Mole Beastman is not there. After approximately 16 episodes, he was in for 16 episodes, making him the longest running Beastman of the entire series, which is interesting. So for the last few episodes, now the last two are definitely like a quick two-parter to simply end the series. By the way, the last couple monsters, well actually the last 3 monsters are, there is the Amon monster. His whole thing is creating man-eating humans to supposedly kill people. And supposedly like make people in an aquarium. I'm not really sure exactly what was his plan. It's just basically just a weird creature, and he just randomly shows up. Yeah. Excuse me. Flying squirrel. His thing with him, just great bombs. Yeah. That was the thing with him. And at the end of the episode, I believe it was the end of this one, basically you have Zero the Great talking to the omnipotent ruler, which you don't see him until like the final episode who he is. So says you have to handle him yourself. Like, okay, so the very next episode, Rashiko goes wake up Masiko. He's like, oh, he's asleep, and he pulls sheets back, and Mashiko's not there. Who is there? The Salamander Beastman, the last Beastman in the entire series. Yep. He is officially the last one. This is the last one because next episode is basically Amazon versus Zero the Great. I'll get to more of that. So basically, this thing is basically the whole plot of this two-parter is basically is this bomb, this helium bomb that they've created, and they want to blow up Tokyo. Okay, one of many different plots. So Amazon himself basically just fights the creature. Also, at one point, we actually have the creature where he poses as Kamen Amazon. I'm like, that's interesting. We haven't had that in a long time. An imposter writer. I mean, the last time they had that was basically back in the original Kamen Rider series, which I gotta at least praise this. I gotta praise this series for this. At least they waited a long time before they finally did it again. Yeah, they waited 3 series after the original one. I mean, it had been, I'd say, about at least a year or 2 since the last time they did it. Of course, last time was the Shocker Rider stuff, which that was awesome. Had a weird conclusion, but it was a great 4-parter. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is just a quick standalone episode. It's mostly just a quick 2 loose connected episodes. So eventually, Salamander is beaten, but not killed by Kamen Amazon. Oh no, he is. He gets his arm sliced off. He gets his tail sliced off. Excuse me, not once but twice, and then he basically just disappears. And he goes back to headquarters and requests Zero the Great to execute. It says he'd rather have Zero the Great executed than be killed by Kamen Amazon. And Zero the Great is like, fine. Kills him. Right there. I believe this was the only Beastman he actually killed the whole series. Unlike the 10-faced demon, he actually killed the first 2. Because they failed. Because he just felt like because the guy was basically just very vicious. This guy just did because basically, requesting. and Amazon tracks him via his blood to the headquarters. Yes, unlike when he went to the Geddon headquarters, he basically just fake being dead. This time he just followed them there. He beats us in the black followers, and then he basically avoids the traps. Like passes by like a room full of gas and like a spike thing, and eventually they have the episode 23 end with him falling into a hole. Though lucky enough, he uses a little rope thing to get out of the hole. And then pretty much basically he just like, okay, so, and then we have also Sebastian Sabata. He basically follows the blood too, and he basically just, well, knocks out one of the black followers, steals his clothes, goes inside, and unlike other times, unlike let's say in Go Ranger, which I believe was coming out just after this one came out, I believe so. Apparently they was sneaking, no problem, and apparently this is when they finally unveil the amulet. This is the first amulet, the other, I think it's the Guy amulet. This is the first that's been seen since episode 14. Where that, apparently they kept it hidden. It wasn't like on the main villain the whole time, like it was with the 10th phase demon. It was on his arm the whole time. Then of course, Kamen Rider Amazon chopped off. Matter of fact, in episode 24, he's actually referred to once by, well, I'll get to him. Excuse me. He's finally referred to by Kamen Rider Amazon by the end of the episode. So, of course, he tries to transform in front of the other great. And he has this thing. He just demorphs him. He tries several times. Doesn't work. Eventually, the amulet is like, oh yeah, here's the amulet. And because the amulets are so close to each other, this is the first and only time we see this whole series with amulets. This amulet moves on its own, the other one, and it merges with the other one. And he's able to transform, and apparently his weapons are useless. After taking out a lot of the followers, he battles Zero the Great, and he falls in the hole. And then he's like, okay, you go handle the bomb itself in Tokyo, I'll handle the detonator here. So he goes in the room, beats the black followers, smashes the computers, and then we finally see the true main villain of Kamen Rider Amazon, because he mentions he was actually behind also the Geddon organization too. Yeah. Everybody think, oh, was it Zero the Great? Wasn't he the main villain of this arc? No. Believe it or not, here's the weird thing. He was a frickin' body double. Yes. Seriously. Oh, by the way, he's played by Hiroshi Nikita, who, noteworthy, the following decade would be in Bioman. I believe this may be his only time he's been in Kamen. He's been a few times. And here he is, the omnipotent ruler, who looks suspiciously like the great leader, the great leader Shocker, except he dresses all in white. Yeah, he's those true Zero the Great. And he appeared just in this episode. You've heard his voice. Excuse me. But oddly enough, he's never actually seen, per se. Amazon fights him, takes off his mask. Oh, it's basically Zero the Great again. Same actor. Yeah, I don't really know exactly why the heck they had this for. Yeah, apparently this one guy was the mastermind behind the entirety of the events of the whole entire series. This one guy. Now, I'll get to more stuff in it. So, he basically just takes the outfit, Zero the Great again, fights him, chops up his arms, then he basically does a super big slice where he needs to chop off his head, then the base explodes. Yep, base explodes, and then I guess Kamen Rider was like, okay, I'm done, I'm going back to Amazon. Yeah, he just basically says goodbye. Mashiko is sad. He apparently is wearing a suit now for some reason, despite the fact he never wore that in the entire series. And he goes home. And that's the whole series. I'm like, that's a very anticlimactic conclusion to Kamen Rider. Yeah, the fight between him and Zero the Great was interesting, but had a very weird conclusion. Excuse me. Yeah. Now to get to my final thoughts on the entire series of Kamen Rider Amazon. It's not a bad Kamen Rider per se. I would say this actually was one. Now, the reason why I picked this one to do next, because it was, well, I was next one, obviously. That was one reason. Another reason was because because his character will show up in the next couple of Kamen Rider series. By the way, my next Kamen Rider series I will be discussing will be Kamen Rider Stronger, and that guy's got a goofy looking outfit. But next Tokusatsu series I'll be discussing before that will be Dynaman. Yes, the 7th Super Sentai we'll discuss in the future. Okay, Tabeshi Tabata, great to see the guy again. Interesting though, they mentioned Kamen Rider both in his debut episode I believe it was 3, and they mentioned episode 4, 24, and that was it. The name Kamen Rider was only mentioned twice the whole time. Now, him bringing him in was a good idea. The problem is no returning Kamen Riders. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what was the reason why they couldn't bring any of the previous Kamen Riders. As a matter of fact, the whole season, the Bishop Hada is never once mentioning the previous 5. They're never brought up in here. Never. Never mentioned. I don't know the reason for it. It's by far the most baffling things. He's definitely a good character. I think he's basically written a lot better than he was basically. I would say this is a good high point for him. But he's basically got one more series left. And then he's done. Yeah, he's got one more left. Stronger is his last one. Mashiko. Great little kid. I think he's basically... For when it comes to child actors, usually they're written to be pretty terrible or just really terrible actors. This kid is smart. He sees something wrong. He knows basically either get in or the Grand Empire. So the first thing he does, contact his local Kamen Rider. The Amazon Rider, of course. And, at first, Rashiko is not trusting him. Eventually she does come around to it. There is a hint in one episode that she might have a crush on him, but it goes nowhere. And Amazon has shown no interest in Rashiko. Never. He's never shown interest in him at all. Oh, by the way, if you look up on the Wiki site, when it comes to see his picture, like his picture in the grander base, where he does basically this pose with his arms stretched out with like a little vest. That's actually taken from the final episode of the entire series of Kamen Amazon. Rashika herself, okay character, just damsel in distress a lot of the time. She doesn't really contribute a lot of stuff to the plot at all. Mobius Man, great character. Surprisingly, he lasted for 16 episodes, which almost the entire series, which is shocking to say the least. Yes, but what about the main character, Amazon? A character who they barely did any development for him. Unlike the previous Kamen Riders, who actually did somewhat develop him over the course of their entire series, Amazon, they developed a little bit. I would say his big high point, now, at the start of it, I'd say for the first, about a dozen episodes, he actually was just speaking one word here and there, not speaking proper Japanese. And then Mashiko just decided, okay, I'll teach you proper Japanese. And he's going to speak normally. My guess is that was probably either on the request of the actor playing him at that point, or it was probably on the request of maybe one of the producers who probably was getting sick and tired of seeing the broken English guy. Excuse me. Yes, that's my personal guess anyways. Now, I think I did hear something that the original actor, the X, I think he's no longer alive. But Amazon, oh yeah, he's still very much alive. Surprisingly. Yeah, but apparently he just does much with Kamen Rider himself, like Amazon himself. Yeah, surprisingly, he doesn't really play the character very much at all. Not really. Aside appearing in 2 episodes of basically Stronger and 1 movie, that's basically all he did for the Kamen Rider franchise. But as for what he did outside of it, like, you might question, okay, is he still acting? No, he actually is retired. Yeah, he's no longer acting. Yes. Yeah, his last after the whole thing with Kamen Rider wrapped up, he just started 1 episode of Criminal Kun and 1 episode G-Men 75. He appeared in a couple movies. Right now he doesn't do much of anything. Apparently he did a book. Yeah, he's basically several books about Amazon. Yeah. I think mostly put he just basically does some writing nowadays. I don't think he actually does much anything aside from, well, writing. Yeah, and for some reason the translate page refers to, well, it's definitely a guy. But for some reason, it's kind of weird what they refer to. I think it's just a typo. Yeah. So he's not been active since the 70s. He mostly just does some writing nowadays. That's mostly put basically what the act does nowadays. And his name is Toru Okasasi. That's basically the actor who played Amazon. Unlike X, who actually is no longer alive. Yeah, X is no longer alive, but, well, yeah, that's a strange thing. The actor who played X. Yeah, I read he's no longer alive. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, he's actually still alive. I thought he passed. I heard there was one actor who did pass away. I actually think it was Stronger. Yeah, it was the actor who played Stronger, which next I'm going to cover. He is no longer alive. He passed away a decade ago. Yeah, I am going to be discussing that soon, so that's be quite interesting to cover that one. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to discussing Stronger because Stronger is a highly anticipated Kamen Rider series. That one with Sky Raider. Those two I really want to get into. Now, before I end this video, here's my order Tokusatsu series as of right now before I move back to some light novel stuff. These fall in order. Next, Dynaman for Super Sentai. And then Kamen Rider Stronger. Then Sky Raider. And then Spaceship Shippin. That's basically the order for that one. And then finally, to cap this round of Tokusatsu series off, it will be Go Andra. That'll be the last one. Excuse me. So this round, I'll be covering 3 Super Sentai series, 3 Kamen Rider, 1 Mode Hero. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly it for particular review. Next up is a Comic Corner, and then Spy X Family. Yep. Thanks for you. Bye.